This is Continuum Drag, a podcast where we watch sci-fi, fantasy, and everything in between. This week, Devil Dog, the Hound of Hell. Welcome to Continuum Drag, the podcast about hyper-regional horror movie hosts. I'm Luke Gooley, here with my co-host Sven Jordan. What's real, Jordan?
Okay, before I get to that, this is the dumbest thing ever because we've done this for years and years. But is it called Devil Dog Hellhound?
I could have got it wrong. Is that incorrect?
I wrote the Hound of Hell, and I'm just now worried that it's going to throw everything off.
Right,
is it Devil Dog
to the internet? There's a chance I truncated it because I thought Hellhound was better than the title.
It's Devil Dog the Hound of Hell. I'm right.
All right. Well, Jordan.
Luke. Okay, let's start recording again. We'll have to redo this.
1 second. Hold on. This week, Devil Dog, the Hound of Hell. Great. It's fixed.
Nice. And it's definitely not Cujo, which weirdly came out 3 years later.
I mean, there's always room for an evil dog for some reason.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But yes, this is our Halloween episode. We're doing the 1978 CBS TV movie Devil Dog, the Hound of Hell, not the Hellhound, apparently. It's an easy punch-up. Why wouldn't they have done it?
You know what? It is actually a little bit tighter. I mean, to be fair, you also don't need anything after Devil Dog. Devil Dog's enough. That's all you need.
For this episode, we're trying to find a reasonable copy of it to watch somewhere, and we did find one, but it is also apparently a recreation of a Chicago broadcast of the film on the TV station WCIU, or the U, if you will. And it is in particular part of, I guess, a series of, do you remember this, Jordan, when regional television stations would show like horror or science fiction movies and they'd have some sort of wacky host who would like interstitial these movies?
Yeah, it seemed like more of a late night thing, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if there's a good Canadian version of it. I do remember there being like a public access channel that would like have a host. They just talk about the like history of it. But I know in the States there's quite a few of these like wacky hosts who would like kind of do interstitials for these movies,
like an Elvira type thing.
Exactly. And This one in particular is from Chicago by a host named Sven Gooley, who I've never encountered before, but it was quite something to watch this movie with these interstitials. I also thought it was interesting because this is clearly not the original broadcast. Someone had the original broadcast and then got a better quality version of the film and like re-edited it back together.
Can I be honest, Luke? I didn't watch that same file. I watched a different version. It's the exact same movie, but I didn't watch it with the interstitials. So only you got to enjoy that. No, I didn't see them.
I sent you that link.
I know, but I didn't. I didn't watch it off that link.
You were just like, I'll just Google my own. Thank you.
Yeah, I did.
Well, then I will skip most of the stuff I was going to talk about. Sven Gooley.
No. I know. Tell me about it.
No, it's fine. It was just very interesting to watch. Kind of this like horror host host this thing is very wacky. Lots of rubber chickens, lots of Jerry Lewis impersonations. I was like kind of watching like, I'm not sure who this is for.
Well, you've said enough that I will go back and watch the link you sent me and see what I missed.
I think you would have enjoyed it quite a bit. I feel like it's right up your alley.
Well, it is a funny thing. I think somewhat on that topic, what I used to really enjoy was, remember like the shopping channel and stuff? They would have like, they've done a thing. They have whatever the product, it's a brooch. And there's enough to talk about the brooch for, I don't know, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. But they have to stretch it to an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And you see these poor people vamping over and over and over about like, how much can you talk about this thing? And I always feel like that sort of thing, like you're talking about, there's that same sense of desperation of like, I got to fill this time.
Oh, no, Jordan. They don't have to fill that time. There's literally no reason for it to be there. Like they're trying to squeeze in 15 seconds because they're just like they want to be there, Jordan. This is not like a show where they're like, we have to be here to fill time. It is by choice.
All right.
It's a very different vibe than you're imagining. Different
disregard
vibe.
What I said.
Well, Jordan, I'm very sorry that you also missed a parody song to Elvis's, what is it? What's Hound Dog? Elvis's Hound Dog, where they've changed it to Hellhound. and written a parody song around this movie.
I can't believe that someone would make that much effort for this movie.
Well, they have to. Well, they're doing it every week. It's part of their shtick.
Man, oh man. I mean, local TV. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I'll tell you this, Jordan. Sven Gulli still going. Has a 3-hour block on another network now. Has 4 sidekicks and is like bigger than ever.
Oh my goodness. It's funny. I won't say any names, but years ago I worked with a guy who was essentially like a host of like a small network kind of local TV, and nice enough guy. We got along fine, but man, he thought he was the biggest star in the world, just because he was like on at 2 a.m. on channel 350 or whatever. And I don't know if that's like goes with the territory, but man, it wasn't warranted,
Man, how good would it be though to have your own show at 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, I'll take it, but
you could do anything you wanted.
Until there's complaints about stuff, but that's another story.
Who's complaining at 2:30 in the morning?
They did some. It's like that sort of thing where there's no one watching you, and they did like really really inappropriate stuff, and then one person happened to see it and then called in, and it got taken off there. It was a whole thing.
Oh, this guy lost his show for saying something he shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can only imagine what he might have said. The sky's the limit, really, of tasteless things.
It was, from what I remember, it was bad.
Let's find that and watch it.
Yeah, I will not say who these people are.
I don't know why you're protecting them.
I just don't want to say it. It just feels weird. It just feels weird to trash someone years later. Yeah, they were very nice to me, so
They were very nice to you, just not that one ethnic group.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that.
All right, Jordan, let's get on with it. Hellhound was released on October 31st, 1978. In that period of time, there was only one thing we've ever watched that would have like been on air during the same period of time.
My first guess, I'm not going to look at any files. I'm not going to get in trouble. My first guess would be was Time Train. Was that on in the late 70s? Or was that earlier?
I think that was late 70s, but it is not that. What was on the air during Hellhound was Project UFO Season 2.
Oh, Project UFO. Which one was that? Was that the one where they... Which was Project UFO?
It was the one where the Air Force had a team of like lawyers to go look into UFO sightings.
Oh, right. It was the British one, and it was like...
No. It was American.
I'm mixing it up with that British one where they'd walk around and be like, there's gas here. And then nothing would happen for like 3 hours.
You hated that one, even though it sounds like you would love it.
Anyways, well, but you can't trust me because my memory is like a sieve. So, but yeah, I'm sure it was a great show.
You do remember what you hate. That's at least something.
I do remember what I hate. That's right. But you know what I will remember for a long time? Devil Dog.
You think so?
No. I'll have a vague memory of it.
Did you have something else you wanted to bring up?
No, I was gonna say I looked up a few things because I was like, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning, Cujo. I was like, I wonder if like this came out right after Cujo and like the craze of Cujo. So I was just doing a very basic search of like devil dogs, and a couple things I found, which may or may not be interesting to you, is so devil dogs. The first history I can find of the use of that name was what was said to be what the German soldiers gave the U.S. Marines during World War I, or in German, I'm going to do my best here, Teufelhunden, or Teufelhunden. But apparently, historians have changed it to be that never actually was said, because it was supposed to be like, they were calling them devil dogs because they're so like impressed with the Marines, how tough they were. But it was actually just American propaganda pretending that the Germans had said that just so they could get more people to recruit and go to the Marines, which I was like, all right, well, that makes more sense. But devil dogs, that was the name of sort of celebrating their like fierce fighting spirit sort of thing.
Interesting.
I also found Hostess has devil dogs, which is a brand of chocolate snack, obviously by Hostess.
It's a chocolate snack?
Yeah, Hostess devil dogs, which I've never seen before.
I assume to be a hot dog of some sort.
I know, it makes more sense. Apparently, Doberman Pinschers are nicknamed devil dogs. Never have heard that before, but that's what I found on the internet, so believe what you will. And then I found a few other things. So usually hellhounds are the embodiment of death and the underworld. So kind of what we have
I like
going
the
on
little stink you put on underworld.
Yeah. And so I looked it up. So in Greek mythology, there's a 3-headed, supernaturally strong hound that guards the gates of Hades, and its name is Cerberus. There's also in mythology from British and Celtic folklore called the Black Dog, and those are spectral hounds, also associated with witchcraft. And apparently, I don't ever heard of them. They're like, examples are the Barghest of Yorkshire and the Black Shuck of East Anglia. I'm like, oh, okay.
You've never heard of Barghest before?
No.
Jordan, Barghest is literally the star of this movie.
Is it really?
They keep calling the dog Barghest.
Do they really?
Constantly.
Oh, anyways, well, that that answers that.
So much research completely unapplied.
Yeah, the witch's black dog is a malevolent magical companion to a witch.
This is all nonsense. Are you getting this from some sort of AI summary? Because some of this doesn't check out.
I don't know. It could have been, but I'm just throwing. Here's what it is. Go do your own research. Anyways, that's all the very clearly very thorough research I did on devil dogs. Hostess devil dogs, though.
Quite the list.
This will all get cut out.
Let's get into it. Here's the IMDb summary for Devil Dog, the Hellhound. Nope, it's the Hound of Hell.
The Hound of Hell.
A dog that is a minion of Satan terrorizes a suburban family.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm trying to think if there's more to it, but there's probably less.
Probably less to it.
Yeah.
It starts off at a dog breeding kennel where a bunch of clearly Satanists have shown up.
Right. They show up and they look almost like, you remember in like the Richard Donner Superman movies where like the 3 evil people all wearing black? Like it looks like them.
Yeah, Zod and everybody.
Yeah, they're clearly bad people.
Well, to be fair, we learn nothing about this cult or anything or their intentions or what's going on, so we need to know they're evil really quick.
You know what? I like that. I like that we didn't waste time on that though, because it's not really important. Because they're going to do something evil. They want a dog, but what was the specifications they wanted? They wanted a female.
They wanted it to be a good dog.
A good dog, and they wanted one that had babies before, right?
Yeah. Well, they just needed one that was ready to breed, essentially, and they're willing to pay upwards of $5,000 for it.
Which, hey, a lot in 1978.
I will say there's one guy who's walking with, there's 3 of them. The leader of it is this woman who's does all the talking. And there's kind of 2 guys who are just like background actors wandering with her. And one guy is wearing the most lopsided sunglasses I've ever seen. And I just couldn't take my eyes off of him.
I didn't notice.
The best. Anyway, they buy this dog. Cut to, the dog is on a leash in the middle of a pentagram in the middle of a barn. And all the cultists are chanting, Barghest, Barghest, Barghest.
Which I didn't catch. But let me just say this. What is with the 70s and like the satanic panic? Huh? Like we've seen, even in the few things we've watched, this has come up multiple times.
Well, this is the prime time for satanic panic. There's actually, I saw a good documentary about it, Jordan, where it came from. And you'll never guess. It came from Victoria, BC, Canada.
Is that right?
A woman had been doing therapy with a psychologist there, and she had fallen in love with her psychologist. When he was kind of trying to end it or something along those lines, she started like coming up with all these like stories about how her mom had brought her to a satanic cult and they had done things to her. And the psychologist was like, oh, this is amazing, because he was doing like regression therapy or whatever. Mm-hmm. So he started writing books about it. And the 2 of them went on the talk show circuit. All of it's nonsense. Like, all of it's made up. But because they got so much press, other people started coming forward and be like, I remember that too. I was abused by a satanic cult. And it, like, caught fire because they got so much press about it, to the point that, like, people went to jail for it. Like people who did nothing went to jail for it. It's a crazy story, but it all comes back to Canada.
Hey, how about that?
We were the ground zero for this lady who just wanted to have a relationship with her married psychologist. And they did eventually get married.
So, you know what? There's a story there. It all, the water will run where it wants to, you know?
I'd have to look up. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was called like The Devil Made Me Do It or something like that. Good documentary. Anyone out there?
But let me ask you this. So they're doing this ceremony, this satanic ritual ceremony, so that they can get some sort of demon type character into the dog.
One of these demon type characters.
Yeah. But it's not even into the dog. They want to get it into the dog so that when it has babies, it has
Jordan, they want to get
puppies.
it into the dog.
Yeah, but for the
It's
express
gross.
purpose
It's
of,
honestly, it's kind of a gross opening because they are like calling forth, or like, we need this 1,000-year-old beast that's been like demon that's been banished. It has to come back every 1,000 years. It's like, but the only way to bring it back is for it to have sex with a dog and then impregnate that dog with a bunch of puppies. I'm like, I don't love this. It's kind of gross.
This was the part like and this is weird to say, but like, so this thing is like, okay, let's say it's a demon, which is like, I'm assuming doesn't have a normal form, like a tangible form. So like, couldn't it take another form? Like couldn't it go into a human? Like, why does it have to be a dog?
It's
like
unclear.
They don't really explain that.
It's unclear, and like so when they kind of show shadows of the demon approaching, it looks like a dog, but later someone will paint a picture of the demon and it's like a 3-eyed goat man. So I'm like, those are very different monsters.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like, well, why not just? It's like, it almost seems like they're like, well, you wanted an evil dog. That's why.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that is
be
the
fair.
answer, Jordan. Is we came up with an idea for a movie about an evil dog.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess you just can't have the spirit or the demon just be a dog. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. What happens is they've impregnated this dog, and then you cut to sometime later, this suburban mom and dad are coming home from work, and as they're pulling into the neighborhood, they see their family dog is dead on the street, and the neighbor runs out and he's just like, this black car just ran it down like it meant to kill it. And they're like, oh no, our family dog is dead.
Yeah.
The assassination?
Yeah. Well, here's one weird thing about it. Saying it was the black car and stuff, because we saw the other car pull up with the Satanist. Of course, they drive a black car. It was like a black station wagon. They've implied that they killed the dog, right?
Correct.
But for the purpose of knowing that they were going to have the family get this other dog, because that seems like a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much, I think, in the tried and true method of these kind of satanic panic things, like there's a long conspiracy and like formula at play here, but it is just like, it raises so many questions. It's just like, so they targeted this family explicitly to kill their dog, so they need a new devil dog to move in, but it just like raises so many questions that the movie doesn't have answers to. Like, there's no reason why it's that family.
Well, can you imagine if the family was just like, hey, do you guys want a new puppy? They're like, no, we just don't want it. It was so sad after the last one died. We just don't want them. And they're like, damn it, there goes our plan.
Well, that's what's so funny is like the whole thing is like, they come home, they find their dog dead. The timing is terrible since it's their daughter's birthday. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of ruined the birthday. That was really funny. The whole scene after they get home is they're just like, don't you want your friends to come over and have a party? And she's like, no, the dog just died. I just got run over. And they're like, I know, but like, we planned a party for you. We should still have the party. And she keeps trying to explain to them. She's just like, no, like, I'm sad right now. And the dad's just like so confused. He's like, I don't really understand.
The daughter is the only one who's sad about the dog. It's very peculiar. And the brother's just like, get over it. And I was like, you're weird, man. It's your family dog.
And they're just like, we'll just jump in the car and go get a new dog. And she's just like, you can't just replace the dog. Like, the dog was a part of our family. They're like, no, we'll just go get another one. It's fine. We just throw this one in the garbage can and we get a new one.
Or a weird guy with some sort of odd traveling fruit stand that has puppies in it might come by that exact moment.
Well, that is what happens is the kids' brother and sister are like, let's go for a bike ride to clear our minds after this ruined birthday. And yes, a pickup truck full of produce pulls up. And I was just like, is this a thing that happened in the 70s? Is this normal? Or is this like
I thought the same.
insane?
I've never seen this before. It was so bizarre.
I also couldn't I'm just like, this is either like a real contrivance of just like, we had to find some way of getting this man here, and or it's very normal for a farmer to be just driving around selling produce. As listeners know, I currently live in Korea, and that is actually normal here. There are trucks that are driving around with little speakers on them, and they're just like, watermelons. I got watermelons. Garlic. Come buy some garlic. So like, to me, it was like not actually as absurd, but I was like, was that a thing in the 70s in the United States suburbs?
I'm not sure, but either way, he's got fruit. You can get like tomatoes, corn,
I know, he's like,
or
do
a
your
fresh
parents
hellhound.
need some sweet melons from the back of my truck, kids?
Well, the whole thing was weird because I think it actually wasn't meant to be as kind of off-putting as it was, because I think you and I probably read it the same way. We were like, ooh, is this like part of like the weird like Satanist people being weird? But it was played as like, it's super straight. It's like, oh, that's just a thing. You can maybe get a puppy. And they were just, they want the dog. And I like, by the way, neither of the kids actually seem to ask their parents. The little girl's like, our dog just died. I really want this one. And the brother's like, oh, okay, I guess we can get him then. And then they just come home and the parents are like, that seems fine with us.
Well, it does kind of come up, is that this man is just like, I've got a truck full of puppies. I believe his exact line is just like, I got to get rid of them before sundown, so you won't. There's a little bit of back and forth about like, do we need to ask our parents? And because I think the guy actually asked that, and they're just like, it's fine, let's take it inside. But yeah, they immediately just like get this new puppy. Everything is happening so quickly, but it's kind of, they're just getting the movie started. It's happening so fast.
Oh, and there's a line that happens shortly after this where they now have the puppy. The daughter feels a little bit better, and blah blah blah. Things are happening, and I can't remember at what exact point she says this, but she says to her parents, "This is the best birthday I ever had." And I was like, but your dog just died like an hour ago.
They do really. That puppy really does let them get over that dog instantaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I love is they take the puppy and they walk away, and the guy jumps in that truck and tears off so fast.
Well, he's got to sell him before sundown, Luke.
Anyway, the neighbor comes by with his Great Dane. He's brought a birthday gift for the daughter because I guess he's feeling bad that her family dog was just run down. And they're like, don't worry about it. We got this brand new puppy named Lucky. We don't mind anymore. And then this puppy's eyes glow green, scare the Great Dane, and he pulls the tablecloth off the top of the table like a magic trick as he runs out of the room.
Yeah. And what I like about this is there's it's a bit of a problem with this movie. So it's I don't think we said it's a German Shepherd puppy, and that will obviously grow up as the movie goes on a little bit. And the funny thing is, it's funny with an adult dog, but even funnier as a puppy is that the puppy doesn't really do anything. It doesn't growl. It doesn't like bite. It doesn't do anything other than just like look like a cute, lovable puppy. So they have to try to do these effects. So they try to catch the reflection on its eye, like you're saying, with a green light to try to give it this otherworldly kind of spooky look. But in the end, it's just a dog just looking. And I'm like,
it's
guys,
a very sweet
you gotta do something.
Puppy.
Yeah, it's very sweet looking. And even later, like the German Shepherd is just a lovely looking dog. And when it's like doing evil things, not that that's a big spoiler, they just have like they'll kind of punch in on this dog, and it's just this dog is just sitting there. It's not doing anything other than just sitting and staring. It's like the least intimidating looking thing.
I did like, Jordan, the green eyes were very reminiscent of a movie 20 years later, the Tommyknockers we watched. It's the very same thing that movie happens, is the way they show people have been infected by aliens. They have the exact same color green eye with the same basic just overlay effect of like their pupils green now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just a very quick and effective way of doing it, right?
Well, yeah, but maybe not effective in terms of emotionally, but
it's quick and cheap.
But the puppy is still a puppy. Their housekeeper comes to work the next day, and she's just like, oof, something's off about this devil dog. So she goes to visit the dad, and she's like, hey, listen, I've encountered evil before, and that dog's evil. You should get rid of it. And obviously the dad kind of dismisses her. He's like, you and your crazy foreign ways, get out of here.
Yeah, so there's a longer thing we can talk about this, but like I do like the stereotype of like they have a she's South American or to some effect, and she has the big cross, so you know that she's Catholic, and I like when she goes into a room and she's at one point like trying to pray against the evil of this dog. She's got all the candles up and stuff. I'm like, oh, she's super Catholic, but it's just like the only purpose is that she's they have to get that religious element in there, but like we got to get rid of her real quick.
Yeah, well, that's it. The dog basically, after she asks for the dog to be gotten rid of, the dog immediately causes her to spontaneously combust and die.
Okay, a couple questions. One, she burns in her room, but once she, like, it's terrible to say, once she is burnt up, it doesn't go to the rest of the room?
Well, it's controlled by Satan. It's a controlled burn.
Okay.
It's a controlled burn.
I was also like, wait, the maid lives there, but I guess it's just a different time. In my head, you know, I was like, oh, she's Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a live-in maid nanny. I mean, you know, obviously, I think you're right. She's somewhere from South America. I think because later they'll go to South America. Like, I think they're trying to tie those two regions together. But also, I think it is just like, you know, we want cheap help, and this is normal at the time. It's like, just have a live-in, like, you're in the suburbs, and why shouldn't you have a live-in, like, housekeeper? We have two incomes, and we're wealthy.
Yeah. Well, so there's a funny thing about this that she clearly is, like you're saying, is probably more of a nanny / maid sort of thing, because you see her, you know, making food, and she's getting the kids ready, and she's doing all this stuff because both parents are, you know, as you said, they both have jobs. They're both leaving, you know, longer hours for work and things. But Maria, this came up when we were watching. Jamie was very irritated and kept saying #justice for Maria, because Maria gets killed and, like, no one cares about it.
Never comes up
Similar
again.
to the dog. Never comes again. Not only that, there's a line later in the movie where the dad is describing, trying to convince someone of the evilness that this dog is doing, and he's like, they've already killed this many people, and he literally doesn't mention Maria. He mentions everyone else. It's just like he could care less about this person, and it's so funny that it's like the only person who actually was actively trying to do anything in this movie, because everyone sort of just like reacts and they just walk around waiting for the dog to do something, but they have to kill her right away, and then everyone's just like, nope, forget her. Anyways, justice for Maria is what we were saying.
I mean, much like the family dog that died at the beginning, they literally come home from a night out and find their beloved housekeeper burnt to death in a room. No one has a single ounce of trauma. No one thinks about it. We cut to a year later, like a year to the day she died. No one's talking about her. They're over it.
And not only that, I'm pretty sure later on they go into her room, which is just being used as a storeroom. Like, the only thing the difference is, dad's like, oh, I have a place to put my files now.
It's a footnote to this family that time they had this housekeeper. Because, they cut to a year later.
Can I say one thing real quick? The house they live in is such a wildly 1970s home. Like, every room is just, like, will kill your eyes with the wallpaper. And just the clothes. I love if, like, you just want like a nice snapshot of late 1970s. It's wonderful for that. That's one of the better things of this movie.
But yes, we cut to a year later back at this great suburban house, and the dog is fully grown. And what I see almost immediately when we cut to like the future is the dog is like using his psychic powers to try to convince the dad to shove his hand into his lawnmower.
Yeah, this is weird because, I mean, I don't know how far we want to get into the dog's powers. But it seems to have moved on from, like, it can cause things to happen, but it also can mind control people to do those things, right? Don't you think it would be like one or the other?
I mean, here's the thing is because we jumped so far in the future, so much has happened related to the dog and the dog's powers that we miss, that it's just like hard because like when we jump a year forward, the dad's just a little bit complaining. He's like, me and the dog, we don't get along that well. And the dog's immediately got him, like, his lawnmower's flipped over, the blade's spinning. The dog's immediately trying to get him to shove his hand via mind control into the blades of it. And when it's done, the dad's just like, well, that was weird. I wonder, he doesn't really like, the dad kind of just like shrugs it off. Like, it's such a escalation. And then immediately we find out that the kids are now complete assholes. They're like under the control of the satanic dog. But like we didn't see any of that. We didn't see them like fall under its sway. It's just like a year later, the dog's in complete control of this family.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing because I don't know why they just decided to do the jump. I guess they were just like, well, we can't have it be a puppy.
It's interesting in that, like, it kind of gets you the story forward. Like, I get why you would do it, like, economically, story-wise, but, like, so much has happened. Like, the kids are already evil. Like, we see the dad almost shove his hand in almost immediately. And then at some point, the mom sort of is like, this dog seems a bit weird. And the dog, like, doesn't chase her, follows her around the house into a room. And then when the dad comes home from work, mom's now also under control of the dog. So, like, the only other, like, straight person is gone. and now she's like evil as well. But her evilness is that she's now super sexy. And why don't we go fool around in the neighbor's pool?
That's right. I should say though, the kids get evil first though, because the mom walks in on them clearly doing some
Oh yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
weird
The kids are
ceremony.
already evil. Like the kids are evil
Yeah.
when we jump a year forward. Like we don't see what turned them.
Yeah. Also, but they're not very good at hiding it. Like, because the mom comes into their room and is like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're clearly like doing something bad. There's like blood on the floor and stuff.
They're just
And they're
like just
"What is
painting a
that?"
picture
and,
with blood.
And instead of being like, yeah, like getting around it, like they're really aggressive and they have to like catch themselves. And I was like, and I guess the whole thing is like they're so evil they can barely control it. But I was like, guys, like be cool with your Satanism.
I think the thing is they don't care. Like
Maybe.
as soon as the mom's turn, she also doesn't really care. Like she's like so weird immediately. Like there's no attempt to like blend in.
But what it's funny what you mentioned, because it is true. The mom is like, she becomes very like amorous, and the dad's like, oh, I'm kind of into this. But the kids are just like kind of rude.
Oh
So
yeah,
I guess
they're
it just
real
affects you in
rude.
different ways. Because I guess it would be weird if the kids got all sexy.
Yeah, it's very strange. And unfortunately for that neighbor who the mom and dad fooled around in his pool for, the dog immediately off screen kills that Great Dane we saw at the beginning, and the neighbor's just like calls the cops. He's like, that dog is like out of control. It killed my dog. And the cops just like, well, you can't prove it, so there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, and the weird thing this movie has is, and I know it's like a budgetary thing, but a lot of stuff happens off camera. Mm-hmm. So it's like, hey, this really evil thing happened. You're like, oh, did we see it? They're like, no, it happened last night. We were focusing on the parents skinny dipping, and it's. I know it's like it is what it is because it's these kind of TV movies, but it's a bit of a bummer because one, you have the dog not really doing anything and not really emoting anything, and then at the same time, the scenes they're focusing on are sort of like the after effects of stuff. So you're like, why are you guys making this scary movie if you don't want to show anything scary?
Yeah, it's partly too they're trying to amp it up quickly, but they're choosing to do that with body count, right? And they can't show body count on screen. So like off screen, this dog has been killed. Then the neighbor's just like, cops won't do anything. So he's like, I'm gonna kill your dog. I'm gonna get a gun and kill your dog. Cut to the dog kills the neighbor by drowning him in the pool. But we also off screen, we just see the neighbors floating there.
That's what I was gonna say. But yeah, make sure you don't actually see any of the death happen. You just see him floating. You're like, oh, that's the interesting part.
And then like because they've now killed the only other character we know about who's not in the family, the school counselor drops by to be like, hey, you know how your son was running for class president? Well, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure he framed the guy running against him with a crime. So that he would lose the election and go to prison potentially.
Yeah, and he framed the kid that he stole a watch.
Yeah, and got his friends to like vouch for like the theft, and like the counselor's just like, I don't think any of that happened. I think your son just did it to win the election.
But I couldn't figure that part out. So I was like, the kid got caught stealing, so thus he didn't win the election. I'm like, wouldn't more kids have voted for him?
It's the
like
70s.
He was a bad boy now.
No, they want good boys.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, the idea here is that just like, you know, the power of Satan gets you what you want. So like it gets this kid elected to class president. You know, the dad's just like, oh, that's terrible. And he's just like, my daughter's also been lying and cheating and stealing and manipulating people. I think there's something wrong with my kids. Maybe we need to get them counseling. But mom's like, no. Please leave.
You know, you make an interesting point, though. I think that would have been a pretty effective kind of plot for this movie, which is, you know, the whole monkey paw thing, which is you get what you want, but the price to pay is that you start slowly becoming more evil, you know, or the dog helps you get what you want in a way that you didn't want.
Well, that's typically what it is. You sell your soul to get what you want, but we don't see that.
We don't see that at all in this. It's just like things happen. Like, but this next scene that comes up with the dad confronting the mom, I love it.
Do you want to see a little bit behind the scenes here, specifically around this idea of the election, the student election?
Sure.
I was saving this for later at the end, but I'll get into it now because it seems like an appropriate time. This movie was originally conceived as a sequel or spin-off to an episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker.
No, really?
Specifically, there's the one episode with Tom Skerritt, where he's
I know exactly
politician who made a deal with Satan to get ahead. It was going to be about that character, a sequel to that of him rising power through the ranks of politics. And the producers were like, no, you can't do it. And Tom Skerritt was actually off to shoot Alien at the time. So, like, it just was not possible. They couldn't clear the rights. They couldn't get the actor. So they just rejigged it around the Devil Dog. But this is where I think we're seeing just like the very vestiges of the original idea. This election, this like the dog helping him win the election. It's just a throwaway, like it's just a little bit for the kid. But I think what we're seeing here is just the vestiges of what the original plan was going to be about a deal with the devil to get ahead in politics, right? Which obviously better movie for sure. But like it's interesting. This seems to be like where the like leftover bits of the original idea was.
It's interesting because I'd forgotten about that episode, but you're right in that is a better story, but there are a lot of similarities with the evil dog. I mean, that one has it sort of him morphing into the dog to sort of do what he needs to do.
Yeah, he becomes the devil dog.
Yeah, he becomes the devil dog, which again a little more interesting. But that's wow, that's an interesting connection.
So I think that's where we're seeing just a tiny taste of that, what was supposed to be a spin-off from Kolchak that I saw, which would have been crazy if this movie was. It would have been crazy.
But yeah, this next scene is this like, it's this crazy, because we were mentioning that the mom gets like sexy for some reason. But so the dad like goes to confront her at one point, and he's like,
the next day he comes home from work and she's already home. She skips work that day.
Yeah, and he's like, I know you didn't go to the hospital, because she like works at some sort of like veterans hospital or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know you weren't at the hospital. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I checked up on you. And she's like really irritated, and that he's checked up, and he's like, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, well, because you've been acting weird. They sort of fight, and he's basically like, where were you? Tell me where you went. And she's like, well, I went to seduce Miles, your like friend. And he's like, what? Like, and you can't tell if she's just saying it just to like, kind of get back at him, to irritate him and say the thing that she knows will bother him, whether it's like an insecurity or something like that. But then she's like, yeah, and it worked. I did. And I was like, oh, so that's what she actually went and did? Did she went and seduce his friend? For what purpose?
Who is his friend? Do you not know who Miles is?
Is Miles the guidance counselor?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Yeah.
it. Like, she's just like, I went and slept with the guidance counselor to get him off our kids' backs, basically.
But it was like, I was like, did you have to do that? I don't know.
He was gonna investigate their son and get him in trouble. I don't know, but that's the idea. Is like he gets home and he confronts her, and he's just like, I slept with Miles, a counselor, who's also your friend, because this community is so small. We're all best friends together. And the dad's so funny. He's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm gonna go talk to him right now and ask him if he had sex with you. I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah, and he's like, he won't lie to me. He's my buddy. I'm like, I don't know if he is.
I mean, sir, I don't. But it's very funny. He jumps in his car to drive over, and then we see the devil dog runs out of the house, and like, this is a nice shot actually, but it's just a dog slow motion running at night. The idea being, it's I think implying it's going so fast that it's beating him to the counselor's house.
Exactly right.
The counselor's bedroom. The exterior bedroom doors, which I was like, why does this man's bedroom have exterior doors? Blows open, and then like the dog comes in, and then suddenly like it fills with smoke, and we see this like green screeny effect where the devil dog's true form finally appears.
Yeah. But it doesn't look great, and I'm assuming that's why we only see it a few times, although we do see it at the end of the episode or end of the movie as well. But it's sort of like, it's a dog. I don't think it's a German Shepherd, but it's like a type of, it's a larger dog. But they've done some sort of, to make it look more like weird, they have sort of like, it almost looks like feathers behind its head. Like it sort of like is silhouetted by this black, what I think is supposed to be big black fur, but it doesn't look like it belongs on it at all. It's very weird. It's like they stuck like I don't know, ostrich feathers on a dog, and then they painted them black. You're like, oh, that looks weird.
Yeah, I was also just like, it looks like they put a wig on a dog and then a couple of devil horns, and they got they found a dog that can like bark and drool a lot to make it look a bit scarier.
You were right. It could at least do that. It could growl, as opposed to the poor German Shepherd that just sat and stared at things blankly.
It's a green screen effect. They like shot this dog in front of a green screen so they could make it a little bit bigger. And so what's weird is it's being projected onto the smoke. But it's only a little bit bigger than a regular dog, so it doesn't quite have the same like effect. But essentially, we get this very funny looking devil dog finally appears, scares the counselor so badly that he runs out of his house as the dad's pulling up, runs into the road, and is hit by a very slow-moving car, and I assume dies.
Yeah, he's dead. And then you see the dog there just staring, and you're like, he's done it again.
I love it because it takes the dad, like, I guess the dad has to stay there overnight and do the police report or something, because he gets home the next day and he finds his kids and wife. I think they're like playing ping pong in the backyard or something. And he's like, our friend, the counselor, he died. And they're like, yeah, we heard. Yeah. And he's like, what? You don't care? He's just there. He's like, eh.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just like laughing it off. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with you people? He's like, that's my best friend who just slept with my wife you're laughing about.
Well, I couldn't prove it. I didn't get a chance to ask him. Anyway, the dad is still very, like, he's very slow to act. I mean, I guess, like, it's his family, but he's so slow to act. Like, he goes to bed that night and wakes up to hear chanting in the attic, where he goes upstairs and finds the kids have painted a bloody pentagram on the floor and a blood portrait of Bargust that they're worshiping. This is where we kind of do see the goat man with 3 eyes.
Yeah. And I should say, this movie has no breathing room at all. For a movie where, like, we don't see anything on screen, it just is like scene. It's like, guy gets hit by the car, now he's in bed, and then here's the chanting, then he goes out. It's like it's this weird propulsion.
They keep it moving.
Like,
they keep it moving,
but like none of the scenes, like, you could put them in different order. Wouldn't really matter too much.
I mean, it's a thing where you know, you want it to keep moving. That's always good. But like in a horror film, you do need like that kind of tension release. You need to like build something up and then like get a scare or not get a scare. And it doesn't really have kind of that tension build that a horror movie necessarily should have. It's not terrible, but it mostly chugs away as fast as it can because
I got a quick question though, Luke. His wife is she's all like now possessed by the devil or what it is, by the devil dog. They've implied that one night she took off so she could go sleep with his best friend, but the other days one would assume now she's going to work. So is she going to work all as this new possessed person? Is that how she's like, you know what I mean? Like she's just doing her normal day. She's doing her whatever boring routine she has to do at work, but she's all possessed.
I believe in that fight they have. She does say, she's like, what? No, I've stopped going to work a while ago. Well, I'm not going to work anymore.
Okay, well that answers that. I do like the idea though of her being possessed and going to work and getting stuck in traffic and stuff.
See, that someone else in the room was just like, but why would she be going to work? And they're like, we'll just put a line. She stopped going to work. And they're like, good, yeah. Solved.
Solved it.
Anyway, obviously the dad's freaked out now. His family's clearly worshiping some sort of devil, and the devil dog is in his home. So he goes to see his family doctor to get him to run a bunch of tests on him to make sure, I guess, he's not insane. And the doctor's just like, all your tests are fine. I think it might be a exhaustion or a mental illness you're developing of something. And he just won't believe him. And the guy's just like, no, it's the dog. It's the devil dog. And the doctor's just like, man, I don't know about that. What I did like about this doctor, though, is they also appear to be really good friends. Like, it's from a time where, like, you were friends with the school counselor, you were friends with your doctor. I was just like, what a time where, like, Jordan, how often do you hang out with your family doctor?
No, not as often as I'd like, Luke.
Jordan, you could use a friend. You should see if he wants to go get a drink sometime.
My doctor is a woman. Nice job.
Oh, the doctor was a woman?
Not in the 70s.
That's a classic bad joke.
He does. I say this though. The doctor says at one point, which is maybe another thing from a little timestamp. He's like, I don't know. He's like, it's the devil dog. It's the devil dog. The doctor's like, I don't know. I gave you a tranquilizer.
Classic period of time.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is sort of the escalation. Is he's freaking out. He can't get anyone to believe him, and he comes home at some point, and there's a newscast on. And on the newscast, there's some guy shooting up a neighborhood from his home. The police are trying to get him to stand down, and they interview the man's wife, and the man's wife's just like, "It's the neighbor's dog. The neighbor's dog's driven him insane." And for whatever reason, this is the final straw for him. He's just like, I got to do something about this dog. So he grabs his gun, which he keeps in his sock drawer, completely unsecure. Just like, he just digs around his sock drawer and pulls out a handgun. I'm like, classic move.
Yeah, he's like, there it is. That's the thing I needed. Yeah, he gets him, takes the dog, takes him out to like a field so he can like shoot him. And then he shoots at the dog multiple times, but I don't know if it's supposed to be that he just keeps missing, like it's forcing the bullets to not hit him, or it's just like it can't be killed, like it's impenetrable. But either way, it doesn't work.
Yeah, they don't have the budget to show like what's happening. I also was just like, I guess the dog's bulletproof? Question mark. But you can't kill this dog, basically.
Yeah. So then he's like, I guess I'll just leave it here, which I don't know what his plan was because the dog clearly already ran to Miles's place faster than he could. So he leaves the dog, drives home, and when he gets there, the dog's like with the family, like, ooh, missed you.
Finally, the dad ends up going somehow. I don't know how he got here, how he heard about it. He ends up at some sort of occult bookshop where the woman there is just like, oh, yeah, you've got a goblin dog, Bargast.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you said that because there's a few scenes in this movie where I was like, did I miss something? But what it is they just, like a scene just happens. Like no one gives him information about this woman. Or if they do, it happens so quickly that you just miss it. But he suddenly just shows up in an occult store and she's like, yeah, you got your classic demon dog. And she's like, yeah, you just got to do something about it. That's
I did like her. She's just like, I just run this place, man. I don't really I'm not like a demon hunter or anything. I can maybe give you some information. He's like telling her about it. He's like, oh, it's the 3-eyed kind? You're in trouble. That's the cleverest. You should have hoped it was a 1-eyed kind. They're so dumb. I was just like, I would love to watch the version of this movie where he's just dealing with a really stupid one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But what she's able to say, like, we have a time cut where he just hangs out at her bookstore for like the evening, and she walks out. She's like, "Listen, I was digging through some books about Bargast, and all I can tell you is someone once painted a 3-eyed demon on the side of a cliff in Ecuador, and I found nothing else helpful." And he's just like, "All right, I don't know what to do with that." She's like, "Oh, I do have one last thing you can do. If you go home and hold up a mirror to your sleeping children, you'll see that they have old person makeup on."
Yeah, that's right. He goes home and he does the he gets a reflection from his daughter in the little hand mirror.
She's supposed to be like corrupted is the idea, but it's not much of makeup wise.
It's not great looking, so she kind of looks like Emperor Palpatine a little bit. And then he's like, "That's it, I gotta go to Ecuador."
When that's my favorite part, it's like hard cut.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. When they cut to Ecuador, like it's the middle of some sort of like jungle, probably near LA somewhere. And on screen, the words Ecuador come up, but Ecuador seems to be in quotes. Am I wrong? Do they just have Ecuador in quotes?
I didn't even see it. Because I was looking down typing something, but I just was like, he just is here. They didn't explain anything, but you could be right.
I don't know, but he's in Ecuador. A cab is dropping him off in the middle of nowhere, and the cab's just like, well, this is the cliffside you want. And he's just like, what do I do here? He's like, just hang out. A guy will come out and talk to you eventually.
I love when the movie is moving so fast through scenes, but they write this one, which made no sense. Why? It would have made just as much sense for the cab driver to drop him off where he needed to be, and you're like, it's this place right there, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to drop you off here. We don't know where the guy is going to show up, so hang around for a while. And then he does. You just see him sitting there, and then eventually this like old sort of shaman priest comes, and it's like, but why did we spend all that time with the taxi driver, just having him sit there? It was stupid.
It was so funny because the taxi driver drops him off in the middle of nowhere and starts driving away, and he runs after the guy, and I'm like, oh, of course, like you should tell that taxi driver to stay, because how are you ever going to get back? But when he stops the taxi driver, he's like, how will I find the guy I'm looking for? And the guy's like, I don't know, just hang out, I guess. And the taxi driver drives off. I'm like, well, you're going to die here, my friend.
But he doesn't, because after several hours, this old shaman guy shows up.
Yeah, he wanders. The idea is he's like a shaman in the jungles of Ecuador, and he comes out and he's just like, oh, yeah, I hang out here waiting for anyone who needs to drop by to battle Bargast. And the shaman tells them, he's just like, check your Bible, man. He can't be killed. I was like, so the shaman's also Catholic?
Yeah. But he tattoos his hand and rants about some stuff for a while,
Well, that's just it. He's like, he explains to us, the audience, and the guy that the reason that his family's evil, but dad is not, is that the dad is a chosen one who can withstand Bargast's sway, and he can't kill Bargast, but he can probably send him back to hell for 1,000 years. And he's just like, but it might cost you your soul. Spoiler, it won't cost him anything.
Yeah, I know. It was funny they added that line because he's like, it might cost you your soul, and the dad's like, I'm in, and he's like, you know what? You are the right guy for this job.
It's a thing where like I get they want to raise the stakes, so it's like hard. But I'm just like, I knew they weren't gonna like do anything. Like it'd be way better if the dad did have like it's just make the dad have to pay. Like it just makes the stakes higher. But I knew it was not like I'm like he's not gonna pay for the soul. But you're right. This shaman like tattoos a like symbol on his hand. He's just like, all right, all you gotta do now is hold this tattoo to the dog's eyeball, and the tattoo will reflect the evil back into the dog, sending him back to hell or something along those lines.
Yeah, he really should have done this earlier, right?
Which, get the tattoo? He should have got a tattoo right at the start.
Yeah, got the tattoo right off the beginning, as soon as they got that dog.
He should have known to go straight to Ecuador.
Yeah. at least to the bookstore.
Anyway, the dad flies home. It's crazy. He flies home. Does he drive past the house? I can't remember, but he essentially drives almost straight to his work where he where he works is called a place called we see Wincott Aerodynamics, implying he works in some sort of plane factory or something like that. But where they drive to is just a classic oil refinery industrial plant.
I wrote the same thing. It's sort of this big set piece that you see in a lot of TV kind of movies from this time period, which is like you want a lot of like fire escapes and sort of like metal bridges sort of to like look over stuff, like just that industrial factory look. But it's like it's not that impressive or needed for this. They just wanted a big set piece for this big fight, but it's not like it was they built towards it or anything.
Yeah, it just sort of pops out of nowhere. But it is just so they can run around an industrial site. There's some like decent stuff here. Like I like the giant dog shadow they do. The score's kind of fun, but like it's in service of leading to this climax where finally the full green screen devil dog appears with its wig and little horns.
Little wig.
They have a battle of wills in that way you do in these movies where like the actor and the thing he's fighting aren't in the same space. So it's just mostly them like looking at each other and being like, we're fighting with our minds.
Yeah, you make a very good point though. It's a choice they made probably for budgetary reasons, but you as a viewer watching this thing, and it's hard to get any sort of real conflict between these two, to have it come across. One, because as we mentioned, it doesn't really build to this. It's not like these two it's been getting worse and worse between these two, and this is the final conflict. And also, you're watching just this projected dog growl, and it's like the same growl you saw 10 minutes ago, and he's just like straining. That's it. That's what you're seeing for like 5 minutes. His face is
straining out of fear. We do get a couple cutaways. He's like grabbing like a hair mat or something. The idea being that eventually he grabs the dog's eye or something, and then now the green screen effect of this dog with a wig and horns, like an explosion happens in front of its eyes, and then and then there's like a fireball where you kind of see they have seemed to have built some sort of prop to be the 3-eyed goat man, which I wish they would have like shown us more of. Like you kind of just see the impression of it through the fire, and I was just like, if you built that effect, like why can't we get a better look at it? But basically the dad has defeated the dog and sent it back to hell.
Yeah, and then he goes home. His wife's in a sexy gown, so he's like not sure if she's still sexy evil, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm normal." He's like, "Oh, thank goodness." And
the next day they go camping.
Exactly. They're like, "Hey, everything's good. Let's go pack up the station wagon." Then his son's like, "Hey, Dad, it's weird. That was a litter of 10 puppies. So I know you vanquished one, but there's 9 other puppies." Dun dun dun. Freeze frame on the cars.
And he's just like, "That's not my problem. Let's go."
Yeah, they're like, "Yeah, not my problem." End of movie. Like, do you think they should have cut to a dog growling or something?
Well, I did have that question of like, I'm like, what about all those other puppies? So I was like happy they brought it up, but I was just like, it wasn't very satisfying to me. I'm like, well, Dad's the chosen one who's supposed to beat them, and he's just like, no, let's go camping. I'm not dealing with those other devil dogs.
It should have been something like they had another pet, like in the time period. They're like, well, at least we only got a budgie now, and then they do like a series of close-ups on the budgie's face. You're like, oh, the budgie's evil too.
Anyway, did you have any final notes on this?
Just 2 weird things for anyone who's interested in this sort of thing. But the 2 kids
I saw this
who were
too.
played by Kim Richards and Ike Eisman were also played brother and sister in both Escape to Witch Mountain and Return to Witch Mountain. Like, which is weird that they cast the same kids as brother and sister in 3 movies.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Did you see the little trivia bit about it where they didn't know until they showed up on set, and they're just like, "What the? You're here too?"
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
But how nice would it be to like have a pal that you worked on all these movies with, and you're just like, we're showing up to work and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, that makes it easy. One other thing, the actor who plays the dad in this, who I never got his name, Jim or Rob or Dan or something. It's Richard Crenna, who I only have ever seen, I think, in one other thing, which is he played the Colonel, Colonel Trotman, I guess it was, in the Rambo movies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it's like, and I looked him up after. I'm like, he didn't do much other than the Rambo movies, but I recognized him, and I was like, oh, at least he did Devil Dog, Hound of Hell, whatever.
I don't have any issue with any of the acting in this. It's all pretty decent, I think, for the most part. Let's get into rating. Actually, we're there, man. We're rusty coming back, huh? Let's get into ratings.
Well, I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure of how I feel about this movie because, like, look, it's not a good movie. There's not a lot of tension. It's not really scary. Again, the dog doesn't growl or anything, and not a lot happens. But it's not like bad. Like, there's not like a lot of like really offensive stuff, or it's not boring. I'll say that. Like, things happen and it keeps moving. So, like, I'm gonna give a higher score than I think I should because it's not that good a movie. But I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, eh?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go a different direction with that.
What did you think I was gonna do? Really high score?
I did. I did think you were gonna go really high for some reason. I don't disagree. It's not boring exactly. It's it falls apart under any sort of speculation whatsoever. There's a few good sequences, a few silly sequences. It suffers from having to be a TV movie, so you can only do so much.
I'd like a little more silliness.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna lean. I think it's a straight down the middle 5. I think this is just like as average as a TV movie from this era can get.
You know what? That's a great way of saying it. It's a very average movie. It's not really bad. It's not really good. It's just like, hey, there's that thing that was on TV. It had a couple moments.
Yeah, some of it's inspired, some of it's not inspired. It's working within the limitations it's stuck inside of. They're trying to do something spooky and satanic while still getting a PG rating. It's hard. Like, this is basically like how you thought you could ever execute. It's impossible to say, but 5.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a Devil Dog.
All right. I think that wraps it up. So, listener, thank you for joining us. You can email us if you have any thoughts on. I would love to know who people's regional TV kind of like horror hosty guy, the Sven Gulis of the world were, the Elviras of the world were, because they were very regional. Funny. I'm very curious. So, email us at continuumdrag@gmail.com if you had one of these little hosts who introed old movies on your station. Let us know. And, of course, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky, we'll have clips from these from this show. Lots of stuff from Devil Dog. It's got a lot of weird stuff going on in it.
Lawnmower. You got the guy stick his hand in a lawnmower. You got the dog with a wig. That's good.
Of course. I have a super cut of the guy with the crazy sunglasses, his wonky sunglasses.
Those, I mean, right there. That's your money right there.
But, of course, you can find that. The handle for all our social media is @ContinuumDrag. But that wraps it up. Thank you so much, listener, for joining us for this Halloween episode of Continuum Drag. And Jordan, see you next week or 2 weeks, whenever we get together.
Yeah, next time.
God, we're rusty. Can't get enough Continuum Drag? Commission a bonus episode for charity.
Want us to watch an episode we missed after using the escape pod or during a best of run? No problem.
Is there an episode of a series we've never watched or a TV movie you want us to cover? You got it.
Wish we'd comment on your favorite movie, content, or other weird media? Sure, why not?
All you have to do is make a donation to one of the charities selected by past guests on our website.
We suggest a donation of $50 per television hour of content we're watching, but everyone's means are different, so give what you can.
Get all the details about bonus episodes for charity on our website, continuumdrag.podbean.com, or follow the links in our social media profiles.
Continuum Drag is recorded in Ontario, Canada, and Seoul, South Korea. Theme music by James Rick Seidler. Produced by Jordan Dullick and Luke Black. Special thanks to Aaron Hughes.